Hi guys, and welcome to All Out Fighting. This is a preview ahead of Fabio Wardley against Daniel Dubois this weekend. Sometimes there are fights that are announced that just scream fireworks, and this is one of them. I just don't see a world in which this fight isn't an all-time classic. And I honestly don't think it's getting the build-up or the hype that it truly deserves, because this could go down as one of the best fights in British boxing history, period. But definitely it's up there as a contender for Fight of the Year. And I have zero doubt that this is going to be an amazing fight. You've got Daniel Dubois, who has had, 21 stoppages in his 22 victories, and Fabio Wardley, who's had 19 stoppages in his 20 victories so far. Both guys, when they win, they usually get the knockout. And so when you put that together, it leads to a fight where someone's probably going to get knocked out. But before that, you could end up with one, maybe both guys touching the canvas. You could end up with both guys getting hurt through the fight multiple times. And I just think it's going to be amazing. I think their styles are going to gel beautifully. Daniel Dubois on one side is coming off the loss to Alexander Usyk, which, look, Usyk's one of one. You can't really judge Dubois based off of that. He's got that knockout victory over Anthony Joshua as well, which is probably his career best performance. And he's kind of rebuilding now going into this fight. A lot has been said, and I think unfairly, to be honest. I don't think you should call him a quitter or anything like that. But people have questioned his mentality because of the Joe Joyce fight and previously the Usyk fight as well, where he took a knee. But I think if you actually break it down, Joe Joyce, in hindsight, was probably a little bit too early for Daniel, and he had a horrific injury with the orbital bone, which, if a fighter stops after that, probably fair play, right? You can't call him a quitter for that. And with Usyk, as I've already mentioned, he is one of one. You cannot judge someone from getting stopped by the best fighter on the planet, arguably pound for pound number one right now. And there's a lot that Daniel actually does really well. Obviously, he packs a massive amount of power. That was shown against AJ, right? When he throws shots, it almost looks a little bit effortless. He's not really trying to load up. He's not forcing it. It just comes. And he's not just a one-trick pony either, because I feel like sometimes with fighters that have power, people like to suggest that's all they got. But let's not make a mistake about it. Daniel Dubois can box. He's got a really, really good jab. He does the basics really well. His footwork's not bad. He puts his shots together quite well. But on top of that, he can obviously put you to sleep in one shot. On the other side, you got Fabio Wardley. I'll be honest, I didn't expect him to be where he is. And that's no disrespect to Fabio Wardley at all. But just with his background, white-collar, unlicensed scene, I genuinely just didn't see him being at this level. After the first Fraser Clark fight, which was a draw, I thought, okay, this is where he's at, maybe British level, there or thereabouts. But then we saw what he did in the rematch, and now he's gone on one of the best runs, I would say, of any boxer at the moment, stepping up the levels and just rising to the occasion every single time. His last fight against Joseph Parker, who's a former world champion, he rose to the occasion again. And so it's getting to the point now where you can't just say, oh, he's getting better and better. He is a legitimate world-class heavyweight now. And a victory in this fight opens up the door to mega fights in terms of probably looking at a unification with Usyk. I assume that's what he will be chasing. But Fabio does a lot of good things as well. He's a good boxer. He's got a great engine. And he also punches hard as well. Alongside Dubois, we've already said this, someone's going to go to sleep. But actually, what I think Fabio does really well is he carries that power through his fights. If you look against Parker as well, he stopped him in the 12th round, and he's done this on a few occasions through his career. One of his most underrated skills, I would say, is his IQ. He has this ability to take a break at certain times in rounds, or whole rounds as well, where it looks like the fight is swinging against him. This happened in the Parker fight, actually. It looked like Parker was just starting to get on top, but actually Fabio was taking a calculated break, which doesn't allows him to go again. And I think that's actually how he manages to stop a lot of fighters later on in the fight. Game plan wise, it's just fireworks. Both men will believe that they can knock each other unconscious early. Dubois, I think, will be looking at it knowing the earlier this fight finishes, better for him. The longer it goes probably favours Fabio Wardley. So I think he's going to come out, look to stamp his authority early, because when he gets into a rhythm, usually he goes on and performs better. When he's unsettled, it becomes a little bit more clunky from Dubois. So I think he'll look to get into his rhythm early, get off the jab and start going to work and look to get Fabio out early. Fabio, on the other hand, I think the longer the fight goes, the more it favours him. And I think he'll be basically trying to do the opposite of what I just said Dubois will do. He'll be trying to make Dubois work early on. Make him work, make him uncomfortable, get him out of that rhythm. Because like I said, when Dubois is uncomfortable in fights early on, that's when, if there are any little doubts in his mind, they'll start to come out. And so I think Fabio Wardley will be looking to really dial in on that, make him work early. He's got a good engine. He can do the 12 rounds at a fast pace. And maybe mid to end, he'll be looking to take Dubois out. In terms of my own prediction of where I think this is going to go, like I said, the fans in Manchester or the fans watching on DAZN, they are going to be in for a treat. I think this could go down as fight of the year contender. That is my opinion. I think Dubois starts on the front foot, but Wardley breaks him down. I think Wardley slowly through the fight makes Dubois work, starts to catch him, starts to implement his style, starts to take control of the center of the ring. And I think if I was hazarding a guess and putting my prediction out there, Wardley will stop Dubois 9, 10, or 11. I think he'll start to get through, and a culmination of punches, Dubois might quit or the ref might step in. I don't think he's going to knock him out cold, but I think he could stop him against the ropes. Okay, guys, that was my fight prediction ahead of Daniel Dubois against Fabio Wardley this weekend. The fight takes place at the Co-op live on DAZN at 6 p.m. If you've got a ticket, I am so jealous because this is going to be an unbelievable night of boxing. So enjoy.